It's day 4 of the Hero Hockey Junior World Cup, and we are at the Major Dhyan Chand National Stadium, New Delhi, for a match between the 2005 champions Argentina, and they are playing Spain in a Pool B fixture. Now, Pool B, the two placements for the quarterfinals have already been decided. Australia and France are through with their 2 victories from 2 matches. But this match between Argentina and Spain will determine which of these two teams will still have a hope of finishing among the top 12 rather, between 9 and 12 places up for grabs for the team which goes on to win this match. Argentina, of course, runners-up also in 2001. A good pedigree in this particular competition. No shortage of support for both teams. Argentina in their familiar white and blue, and up against them in yellow, it will be Spain. And looking forward to put behind what has been thus far a slightly disappointing campaign for both teams with 2 defeats in a row. First course of action will be the national anthems for the 2 teams, beginning, of course, with the home side for this particular match, Argentina. Australia and just about outlasted by France. If it was Argentina on the opening day against Australia, losing out 2-5 and then getting outlasted 2-3 in a thriller against France yesterday. Similarly, Spain would have been disappointed, having been up 1-0 and then 2-1 against France, going on to lose 3-4 and eventually getting beaten by Australia 2-0 in the first match yesterday. So everything pretty much to play for, but with the possibility of qualifying for the quarterfinals out, a few youngsters getting a go-ahead today. In goal, Thomas Riarte will get a chance for Argentina. Watch out for Gonzalo Pela, their number 2, who's already got 2 goals, 1 from a penalty stroke and 1 from a penalty corner. And Lucas Martinez, number 11, has also looked very, very impressive up front, as is Manuel Sacchetti, number 15. Likes to work down the flanks. Carlos Janero, 2-time Olympian, 1988 and 1992, and also played the 1990 World Cup. And indeed was also a winner with the Pan American Games team in 1991. Spain, on the other hand, have had a few performances who have really looked out. 17-year-old number 13, Gonzalo de Castellon, has looked very, very useful. And also watch out for the penalty corner threat coming in from the skipper, Alejandro de Frutos. They are coached by the legendary Xavi Arnau, 40-year-old silver medalist with Spain at the Atlanta Olympics in 1996, as well as the 1998 Utrecht World Cup. three-time Olympian, 1992, 96 and 2000. The two umpires for today, Gareth Greenfield of New Zealand, and joining him is Ahmed El Said of Egypt. So everything pretty much in readiness. Some fans trickling in, and it should be that kind of a day because there are some very, very important clashes later on in the day, which will determine the fate of the quarter-final lineup in this 10th Hero Hockey Junior World Cup. From where we are sitting, Argentina in their blue and white will be going from left to right, and up against them in their yellow jerseys and red shorts, it will be Spain. In the commentary box, I'm Divine Sen, and I'm glad to be joined by two-time Indian coach, former Indian coach Cedric D'Souza. Cedric, looking forward to what should be an engrossing encounter, because while there's not much at stake in terms of quarterfinals, but both teams with a lot of pride to fight for.
Well, apart from pride, there's also the fact that there's not much pressure on them now that the quarterfinal is out of their bag. But when a team plays without pressure, you always find a great game and the cards.
Early possession for the Spaniards. All the way back to one of their impressive performers, Ricardo Sanchez. As mentioned before, both teams have had some impressive outing. In fact, both games against France for both these teams were quite crucial, quite close. And it was just the bounce back ability, so to speak, of France which saw them through in both those matches. They will be disappointed considering their pedigree not only at this level but also at senior level. Spain ranked 8th currently in the world. Argentina just 3 places behind them. So from that perspective, the juniors will be disappointed that at best they can settle only at best for 9th in this particular Junior Hockey World Cup. Here comes possibly the first attractive move. Alvaro Iglesias was getting into a good position. They have gotten into the D. And some men for support here. Now Argentina pull away with the ball for the first time.
Well, if you look at the first move by Spain, they're pushing up a lot of people into the circle. So they've come with a different game plan that they did against Australia. Trying to get a goal as quickly as possible and controlling the midfield as much as possible too.
Yes, did hang back yesterday, didn't they? Held Australia down to 0-0 at half-time, but it always looked likely that Australia would break free at some time, and it happened eventually.
Well, Australia had too many guns blazing, against the Spaniards, and you can't be defending for 70 minutes of play against a team like Australia, which has a lot of strength on the ball. They have great movement off the ball, and they're physically very hard and technically sound too.
First opportunity for Argentina to see much of the ball, get it passing around. This is their skipper, Pela. Has been already very impressive in this Hero Junior World Cup. Back with the skipper, got some options down the right flank. A little bit of pressure, but pulls away nicely with the ball. What we have seen thus far on evidence are very similar styles, so it should make for a good contrast in terms of how they adapt to each other's styles.
Well, if you look at what the first couple of minutes are, you'll find that Spaniards have the midfield pushing up a lot into the attack, whereas the Argentine midfield is holding back when they are playing rotation ball at the back.
Nicely done in the end by Cecilio. Had space to move forward, but just couldn't utilize it well enough. Eventually does win possession for his team, but allows Spain to recover. champions 8 years ago in Rotterdam. One of the big moments in terms of Argentinian hockey history. Now back with Spain. Iglesias concedes a hit-in. Both teams have found goals a little hard to come by. Only 4 scored by Argentina and just 3 for Spain. Considering the pedigree of these two teams, you would expect a little bit better, but it just hasn't happened that way for them. No goals at all yesterday for Spain, so they will want to set that anomaly right today for sure.
But then there are some key players in both these teams. You know, you have Sancheti Nicolas, number 15 from Argentina. You have Gonzalo Peliat, number 2 from Argentina, the skipper, and Ibarra Carlos, who number 10, who is really can turn a game completely upside down with his lurking runs and his skill. For Spain, you've got Sanchez Ricardo, who had a brilliant match against Australia yesterday as a sweeper. He cuts up the balls very well in the line of defense. And you've got Joseph Farkas, number 16, and Alexander Fukas, the skipper, at number 18. These are players who can turn the game around completely for their respective teams.
Here they are moving forward, and it is Iglesias on the ball, looking to just sweep it through and get it into the D, but just cleared off the lines. And now Argentina look to move forward. Just a little bit of stop and start at the moment. No fluency about any of the moves as yet. Yet again a free hit, but this is a good position for Spain to try and exploit. The man with the red headband, the distinctive González de Castellón, who was also very impressive yesterday. This has been smacked in, but came from outside the D, so won't have any problems. There he is, just 17 years of age, and quite a live wire himself. Possibly one of the stars of the future. Spain has used this event, as have Argentina indeed, to unearth quite a few talents in the past.
Well, you know, the Junior World Cup is exactly what is the transition into the senior team, and you'll have a lot of the national coaches hanging around here and watching the junior wards play and figuring out which player is going to make the national squad in the near future.
There's a lot of players, a lot of staff involved with the senior teams have been part of the support staff here as well, and no doubt scouting one of the aims. Now this is a good move, moving forward, but unable to win possession for his team, and in fact giving it away in the end. So tidy defending, must be said, in the end for Argentina. Long ball.
Well, a great through ball by Ibarra there, and you know, unfortunately for him, the Argentine defense was as strong as possible, kept a low stick and got the ball away from the danger zone.
Nearly fell very favorably for Albert Bertrand, who's also a very useful player. Showed his utility down the right flank on a few occasions yesterday against Australia, this time starting up pretty much as a central forward role. Spain definitely, as Cedric pointed out, making a much more positive start, looking to move ahead in good numbers compared to the caution that they exercised early on against Australia yesterday. Here they come forward yet again. It's looking promising at the moment for the Spaniards. This has been sent across. It's a beautiful cross. And he did make contact with it, but there was some good defending as well, some committed defending.
A great pass by Santana and a tremendous ball through the circle. Deflection, diving deflection by Lopez, but a great save by the keeper in the Argentine goal, Riarte Thomas.
His first match of this Hero Junior World Cup, and he's giving a good accounting of himself thus far. The first real serious action that he's been called upon to do, and did it quite effectively. Always a tough one in a competition like this when really the substantial spots that you can play for are over, but still something or the other at stake. Few classification matches to go, chances to impress the men who matter in your own setup, national team setup. Most of the early running being done by the Spaniards. Promises to be an interesting exhibition of hockey.
Spanish midfielder, especially Santana, number 14, has got a player who can cut through defense, and he's got a lovely through ball which he plays. Already the 2 passes that have come through his stick. Great distributor, and you know the 45-degree angle passes which could be really killers. Great passes so far by him, which resulted in a shot at goal and a diving deflection. But a great save by the keeper, also by Argentine keeper.
There's a point you mentioned earlier on that the pressure is off really, so both teams could play with a little bit more freedom than perhaps what they did in the earlier couple of games. Always, while the group is still alive, the pool is still alive, you do have a touch of nerves which might have gone by now. Spain certainly playing with that freedom, moving forward yet again with some free-flowing hockey down the right flank. But Argentina doing enough to recover. And constantly getting pushed onto their own half and onto the back foot in these early exchanges. The first challenge here for Argentina, I suppose, Cedric, would be to try and break this momentum, early momentum for Spain.
Well, what Spain is doing is actually moving the ball from left to right, and that is what is opening up the Argentine defense. Another thing is that the Argentine midfielders are not marking as strong as they should be marking, and it's giving enough space to the Spanish midfielders, because the midfield is a critical aspect of the game. If they allow that kind of space, then you're asking for trouble.
Rotation of players will also be crucial. That's something both coaches do identify. Just making sure that they get as many fresh legs onto the turf as possible. This being a pushback at 2 p.m. Temperatures at their highest in terms of how they will be through the rest of the evening. Nevertheless, splendid weather in which to play hockey. Delightful exchange. Good possession here for Federico Ruiz. Just giving it away though. And now picked up by Gonzalez de Castillo. Fernandez Onega. Onto the right. This has been smashed across, hit with a lot of power. He's looking for the run of Coelho.
Well, Argentina's got to string a few more passes together, and you know, and they're playing predominantly on the right-hand side. They've got to be able to switch that game from left to right or right to left, and open up the Spanish defense, because the Spaniards are holding back as much as possible, especially the 4-man defense, and not allowing them space to the strikers, because they know that the Argentine strikers are very lethal in terms of the one-to-one situation.
Also, a great understanding that has been shown in this Junior World Cup between the likes of Martinez as well as Coelho. When moving forward, they do tend to have this great thought about where the other one is going to be. In fact, just looking through their ages, it was interesting to see that not many players under the age of 20. Most of them are 20 and above. So considering that, they would have played a lot of hockey together through the age group levels.
Well, they have this youth program, and you know, for the under 16s, under 14s, under 16s, under 18s, and then they go into the juniors, which is under 21. So they had a lot of time together in terms of getting to know each other, in terms of getting to hone their skills and their temperament, basically.
Oh, this is looking promising from one of their stars of this competition, Sacheti, once again down the right flank. Always a threat down the wings in particular, has electric speed and good skills. This time it was swept through, looking for an Argentinian stick at the end of it, but no luck at all. The last few minutes though have been a little more positive for the team in blue and white. Celeste, as their football team is sometimes more popularly known as, but I suppose the name would stick here because it is blue and white for all practical purposes. So the opening exchange is pretty much the way we would have expected, Cedric. A little bit of caution and both teams in a sense cancelling each other out.
Exactly, you know, in the initial stages there was Spain was playing a little bit of more, had more possession of the ball. But if you look at it now, Argentina is coming into their own, and yes, the nerves are settled down, and you know you're going to have a game which is basically even Stevens.
It's a long ball and it was aimed at the man down the right. Just unable to get across to it, but the idea was right. At least they are forcing Spain to do a few things differently. One of the benefits of commentating alongside a man who's a coach in his full time is he's always thinking in terms of what he might do differently here. Go on, Cedric, tell us, what did you think?
Well, I just saw the Argentine ball being played from the deep defense. The midfielders are holding back in their own.
Oh, that's an outstanding save. We'll just get back to that, but this was a good bit of work from Spain.
A great cross ball and a fantastic deflection on top of the circle, and an equally great save by the keeper Riarte.
This might have been unsighted by his own defender, but stayed low and read that perfectly. Serahima was the man who was closest to the action.
Coming back to your point, you know, you've got to have the midfielders pushing up more and pulling and supporting the attack. You've got 3 Argentine strikers playing way up in the last enemy quarter, and then you've got 6 Argentine defenders or midfielders playing together in their own half. You've got to push up a little bit more and create the space for the long ball coming in.
Once again, possession with the Argentinians. The last few minutes, barring that last attempt, which nearly fell very favorably for Spain, have been dominated by the South Americans, and this time yet again they have possession in a good position.
It's good to see that at this level of hockey you find the reverse tackling and the diving tackles really coming very well. It just augurs well for what the future of hockey is going to be like at the international level.
Yes, we have seen some superb individual skills, and a lot of them resulting in goals, which is always a fabulous sign. Also a sign of the confidence which some of these young players have. No goals as yet in this match. Can that change with this move? Going forward yet again, Spain looking threatening when they do. This is Gonzalez de Castellón. Still has possession. Looking to release Beltran, but it was nicely read by the Argentinian defense.
I think the Spanish were waiting for a penalty corner. They actually claimed for a penalty corner because of a harsh stick check in the 25. But he had possession of the ball, so the umpire did not blow for a penalty corner and just carried on play.
Those men right in the Argentinian D, looking for those balls to come in and trying to make the most of it, but always very closely man-marked. This, though, is a chance to pull away Beltran again, and taking a tumble yet again, but no decision in his favor.
Well, a nice tackle, one-hand tackle by Nicolas Cecilio in the Argentine defense there.
Gonzalez gives possession away. This is a chance for Argentina to build on something of their own. More than halfway past this first half. Still waiting for the first goal. No shortage of numbers for you. A lot more possession for Spain. And not surprisingly, that's why they are also dominating in terms of circle penetrations as well as shots. No shots yet, in fact, on goal from Argentina.
Well, 2 lovely attempts by the Spaniards, both deflection balls and great saves by the Argentine keeper so far. You know, the Spanish showed us something yesterday in yesterday's match against Australia too. A great diving deflection which was just missed by a couple of inches. So I think their game plan is to have these deflections, and they've got players with capacity to dive and tip those balls and deflect the balls in.
Yet again, moving forward well. This is coming threateningly too, but eventually kicked away by Riarte. Just looking also at the first 20 minutes here. A little bit more tiredness, perhaps one would think, from the Argentinians. It looks like the game yesterday against France has taken a lot more out of them in terms of physical as well as emotional aspect.
Well, I think you're right, Divine, because they haven't got that spark in them like they had yesterday. Maybe the fatigue is set into a certain extent. It could also mean the fact that they came with a very big reputation, and having lost the not got into the quarterfinals, they demotivate to a certain extent. You never know. These are things which play on a player's mind, and it's all about the coach motivating his players as best he can.
It was one of the fabulous games which was played yesterday. Lots of drama. The last game in particular was absolutely brilliant between New Zealand and England. Last gasp equalizer by New Zealand, which has kept Pool D wide open. Although Malaysia have pretty much qualified, so 4 teams have made their way through to the quarterfinals. In Pool C, Netherlands have confirmed their position more or less, because Korea and India can only hope to go up to 6 points. And that is exactly what Netherlands are on. Pool A is still wide open. Pool A will be in action tomorrow. At the moment, it's action for Spain. Moving forward is Ricardo Santana, getting some support. There's Iglesias. All the way back to Malagosa. Sanchez. Switching flanks. Serahima. Ursul. Fabulous sequence of passes coming through from Spain right through this first half. It's not raining goals yet. That's good composed defending.
Cecilia Nicholas is playing a great game of defense, and look at him going all the way up into the circle to take a shot at goal. I know, a lovely try by him, but just went wide.
That was really an incredible effort. He picked it up from his own 25, and look at this run.
Well, he's had a fantastic game in defense so far. He's had clean tackles. He's been in the right place at the right time, and he's moved all the way up, 70 yards up the pitch, and takes a great hit just wide of the post.
Would have been possibly a contender for one of the goals of the Hero Junior World Cup thus far, and almost had his own teammate Coelho in physical trouble. He was ducking for cover. That was hit with so much of venom.
Well, I was just going to mention him because Gonzalo being the sweeper there in the Argentine defense, and Nicolas Cecilio playing the game of his life, actually, centre-back there. If you look at him, he's now Gonzalo is marking, and Cecilio is just staying and covering the gaps, and for a youngster, he's showing a lot of promise.
This event as much about promise as anything else. Argentina's senior men's team will be here soon for the World League, the Hero World League finals, in just about a month's time. They'll be keeping an eye out on some of these young players to integrate them into the senior team in time to come. Certainly that must act as one of the motivations for some of these players. This is sent in. It's a dangerous ball, but eventually whistle blown against them. So they've had their moments, Argentina. Of a green card which was given to Iglesias just a while ago.
He was given the green card because he played the ball after the whistle was blown.
So things just evening out in the last few minutes. It started well for Spain, but Argentina have had their moments as well. There was a fantastic solo effort from Cecilio, who's marked himself out as a danger man for the Spanish midfield as well as defense. And indeed, he's making his runs deep from the center of his own team's defense, so makes it all the more remarkable, his performance thus far in this first half. Now that's a giveaway. It's Spain with some men getting behind the ball. Argentina rapidly falling back to defend this. The run though is good from Santana. He's moved down to the right, where Bolto gets it through. But picked up first by the Argentinian defense, and they move away with the ball quite comfortably now.
But two plays that have stood out so far in the first 20 minutes or 24 minutes of play is Lucero Nicolas in the defense for the Argentines, and number 14 from Spain, Santana Ricardo. And both have played a really fantastic game. One in defense and one in midfield. Playing those two balls. Even the last movement which came in just now was all about Ricardo playing this, Santana playing this lovely ball through.
Yes, it's had a good amount of pace this first half, but no gilt-edged opportunities as yet. Perhaps the better ones for Spain, in fact the only ones for Spain. That just reflects on some good defensive solidity, which unfortunately was lacking perhaps in the first two games, particularly for Argentina. They gave away some rather careless goals, which they'll reflect and think quite badly about. But this time, again, it's that man, Santana, on the run, just at the edge of the box, takes a tumble, but it's cleanly taken. And Preza gets the ball away. On now to Fernandez Onega. Looking promising, Sacchetti almost found his way through. Back with him again. Now on the right, lovely bit of skill and really putting the Spanish defense under pressure.
Bani, if you look at the Spanish D, you've got all 11 players back in the defense now. And every player's being caught man to man, and with some players free to receive the ball in case there's a turnover.
Eventually they do get the ball away, and here's a chance to post an attack of their own, but Sanchez loses his footing. That's unfortunate. Results in a turnover. Martinez looking for Sacchetti. It's been picked up instead by Spain. Not able to keep this one in play though. So the pace just picking up the last few seconds. That run which was just not able to be completed by Sanchez. Now Argentina moving forward. Can they find that opening goal just before halftime? Oh, it's looking promising. He's found his way through as well, but well, still no luck for either team. No penalty corners as yet in this match.
I think the Spaniards know that they have a danger man in the Argentine penalty corner flicker in Pelat, so they're really protecting their feet as much as possible in the circle.
A point aptly made in that particular replay, where we saw all the Spanish defenders keeping a close eye on where the ball was heading in terms of their feet as well. Quick on their feet, light on their feet. So this first half thus far has been about defensive compactness, but can a moment of inspiration unlock the score? Minus pass. Ibarra has done well, but not well enough, unfortunately. So that piece of action, but they look like they are contesting it.
Well, they're showing that the fact that there was a stick check in the circle, and probably a foot on number 3.
Yeah?
Looking for a stick check in the circle, which is the penalty corner one with them.
Bruce, are you there?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, Argentina player asked for a stick from Spanish player. He asked about the corner. You asked to.
Okay,
Can you help me?
Okay, I'm looking for a stick tackle by the Spanish defender in the circle.
No, thank you.
Argentinian team, which did ask for this referral. Let's see what the decision turns out to be.
I have a decision for you. It's a penalty corner. There is a stick tackle by the Spanish defender. Argentina keep their referral. Penalty corner.
Well, there you have it. Bruce Bale does rule in favor of Argentina, and now their big man will have the opportunity of making an impact on this game.
Well, you know, that penalty corner was given against the Spanish defense because number 3, Malgosa Santiago, actually just touched the stick of the Argentine striker moving into the circle, and that was a clean penalty corner given for the Argies. The game is so fast today that you need a referral because, you know, umpires don't have the time to even breathe. It's so quick.
If they do score here, then that will be just reward for what has been a lot of perseverance in the last few minutes. Gonzalo Pela is just at the edge of the picture that you just saw. No doubt would be one of the favoured players to have a go at it. Has some company alongside him. Ibarra is standing to his right. But it does look like it will be Gonzalo Pela. He already has one penalty corner conversion, successful conversion in this Hero Junior World Cup. Can he find a second here? Here comes Pela. The first runner does well. Follow-up shot comes in too. It's another PC that's been given, and this time the Spaniards aren't happy. And it looks like they do want a referral, or they're just consulting with their bench about what to do with it.
Okay, please.
At first glance, Cedric, you saw much scope for argument there.
A great save by the Spanish defense running out. Okay, and it actually went off the stick of, went off the body of the first charger, and that's where they came for a penalty corner again. Sticking them into the body.
So the next bite of the cherry once again for Pela. This time it's drilled in hard, but nicely saved. Somehow Fernandez Garin does well enough to get to it. Danger still not averted. It will be now. So Spain live to fight another day. Got to be careful not to give too many opportunities to Gonzalo Pela.
Well, you know, the first penalty corner he went aerial, and in the second one he went low on the keeper's left. Keeper was beaten hands out, but a great save by the Spanish defense.
Just a very anxious finish to this first half for the Spanish defense. Under pressure, under relentless pressure from the Argentinians. Now they're looking for a referral again. The attacking team definitely believe they have a case, but it's been given as a free hit, and that is the decision that will stay. Just to remind our viewers that the green light that you see on top indicates that they still have a referee left. This time a shot comes in, but was impeded by a few of these Spanish defenders, so no damage done.
But the man, you know that the Argentinians strikers are very, very lethal in the enemy 25-yard line. They can go 1 versus 1 situations very easily. They can go with the 2v1, but the most importantly, they have the skill and they have the finesse to score at from half chances also.
And that was a half chance which fell to Fernandez. Pizarro did quite well in the end. Now this is a counter-attack coming in from Beltran. Is well enough to retain possession. Coming in towards the last 4 minutes of this first half. Haven't been any clear-cut chances for either side, but there have been a few good attacks from both Argentina as well as Spain. Just underscoring what we did think, that this will be an even contest. Just to remind that if the score does stay the same, if it is a draw, then Spain will finish higher than Argentina by virtue of a better goal difference. In fact, Argentina have scored 4 as well, so it will be a very, very tight finish. But Spain, definitely, if the score remains the same, will be the team which will be finishing third in this particular pool. This is a nice steal. And they make the most of this, looking for some momentum, but just not getting any. The last few minutes have belonged a little more to Argentina.
Well, if you look at the kind of penetration passes that are going through, especially the flanks, and they're trying to get through on a one-to-one situation, it's actually carrying the ball by the strikers more and more to try to break into the circle. But there's no actual concerted moves by the RGs. They're not moving up into attack like a well-drilled unit. You know, they're just playing on sporadic raids.
They know that there's still a lot of hockey to be played in this match, but at the moment still goalless. Argentinian skipper sends this ball through, looking for Sacchetti, but nicely defended by Spain. One of the tireless workers for them today, Borja Llorens. Ricardo Sanchez down the right. This is looking promising. Can they cap it off with a goal here this first half? It's been slapped across, but nobody at the end of it. Argentina won't be too displeased with that, but looking promising on a few occasions, Spain, especially when moving forward. This was one such move. Final pass, attempted pass coming in from Ursul, but unfortunately for him, his teammates were more behind him. They appear more or less quite relaxed with what has happened thus far. Spain come forward again. Could well be the last constructive attack of this half.
Well, there's just a question of 40 seconds to go, and I think they pushed up everybody into attack. You look at it, they just got 2 men in defense, the rest are all moving up into attack. But then you got the whole RG team defending. That was a poor shot, because you cannot try and fire the ball into the circle when there are 11 people in the defense. You got to try and inch forward and make a penalty corner even in the short time that was there.
Green card for Fernandez Onega. Let's see if Spain can take advantage of that slight man advantage that they have for these last 10 seconds. But it looks like it will end this first half without any goal scored. Smash through, but the hooter sounds the end of what has been a first half which has been quite an interesting contrast between the two teams. It was Spain who started the brighter of the two. Javier now will be quite happy with most of what he saw in this first half. Some fluid movement, some good combinations between the likes of Iglesias, Beltran, as well as Ricardo Santana moving forward. Then Argentina getting a little bit of their own back, and there was a phase when there were a couple of penalty corners which fell for Gonzalo Peila, but couldn't quite make the most of them. And also as they were moving forward, just couldn't finish off the moves that were created by their midfielder. So no goals as yet at the moment at the Major Dhyan Chand National Stadium. The half-time score, it's Argentina 0, Spain 0.
like this.
Half-time, it's 0-0 at the moment at the Major Dhyan Chand National Stadium. There's been a shortage of goals, but there has been no shortage of action in this match between Argentina and Spain. Both teams desperately needing a victory in this particular game. It was Spain who made the brighter start, and Ricardo Santana involved in a lot of those moves. Lovely move coming forward from the left, and right at the end of it, almost finding himself in the perfect position was Iglesias. And this was the second one where again there was a deflection just towards goal, but a good bit of goalkeeping on both occasions from Thomas Riarte, who's playing his first match in this particular Hero Hockey Junior World Cup. And then this magnificent solo effort almost capped it off with a goal to Nicolas Cecilio, taking it from his own defensive third, moving all the way up the pitch and then going for a reverse hit, and not too far away too. He had Coelho up front and perhaps could have released him, but well, considering the kind of run he made, decided to go for the shot. And then there's a penalty corner. Gonzalo Pela, as always, smashing it through. But the Spanish defense and the goalkeeper doing well. Good bit of teamwork to make sure that no damage was done. Ricardo Sanchez, the man in defense, who pulled off a very fine save. So no clear-cut chances, and that will be reflected, I'm afraid, in the numbers too. 2 shots to 2, but very even in every sense of the word. Possession also almost equal. Circle penetrations 8-7. Just a quick reminder, you can connect with us on Facebook, where we are at FI Hockey. And you can also get to us on Twitter, where we are at FIH_hockey. And make sure you send your tweets with the hashtag HJWC, because we are in the Hero Junior World Cup, and this is where we are at. Pool A, it's still wide open. Any one of those top 3 teams can qualify. Indeed, it's more than likely that even Egypt can be in with a chance, although that would take a seriously big statistical anomaly for them to beat Germany in the last match by a huge enough margin to be in contention. Well, Pool C is where India, the home team, is in, and they have a do-or-die encounter against Korea. Netherlands are already through because Korea and India can at best only move up to 6 points. Canada, I'm afraid for them, the chances of being in the quarterfinals is over, but they'll still be in with a contention for the top 9 to 12 positions as well. In Pool D, Malaysia are through, but South Africa, New Zealand, England, all these teams are in with a chance, and all 4 of those teams, in fact, will be in action later on today. The third and the fourth matches today will feature first Malaysia and England, and then a crackerjack of an encounter between South Africa and New Zealand. Currently, we're in Pool B, where Australia and France have already made their way through to the qualifiers, to the quarterfinals. But Spain and Argentina are still fighting for that place. Just a quick reminder, once again, Facebook, we are at FI Hockey, and we are also on Instagram at FI Hockey, and on Twitter, we are at FIH_hockey. A day which has already seen, in the early hours of today, a very fine final in the World League, Hero World League. Match in the women's competition where Netherlands came back from being 1 goal down in the first half to beat Australia 5-1 to claim the first ever title of the World League. An interesting match that. Cedric D'Souza sitting alongside me saw a few highlights of that performance. Far-back performance from the Dutch women.
Well, they played they kept their best game for the final and thrashed Australia by 5 goals to 1. One of the goals was actually the goal of the tournament, where the Netherlands striker moved alone all the way down the circle. Roto closed her out, and she came back all the way to the top of the circle and smacked it in, crashed the ball inside the goal. You know, she moved from the baseline all the way up. It's incredible hockey and an incredible goal.
It's the best teams of that particular competition playing there. Still a bit of a sit-out for Fernandez Onega. The best of the youth teams in action in this Hero Junior World Cup. And that's what it's all about. The top 16 teams in the world all come through a lengthy process of qualification. Argentina here by winning the Pan Am Junior Championship in September 2012. And Spain qualifying as one of the teams from Europe. Let's see what the second 35 minutes has in store, and which of these teams crucially can find that first goal, because one gets the impression, Cedric, this is one of those matches where 1 goal can decide the fate.
Exactly, Divine, you know, and having said that, you know, let's look at what the team should do in the second half. I think from a coaching perspective, they need to stretch the game. That means the strikers have to push way up to the baseline, the midfielders have to come way up to the 25-yard line and actually hit these long balls inside into the gaps. One is that. The second thing is to use the width of the pitch. At the moment, they're just playing one-sided hockey. They're using the width of the pitch. You'll have to require the sweeper to come up and switch the game through the sweeper. Okay, and because the sweeper can come up, because both these teams have a 3-man defense, a 4-man defense. If the sweeper comes up, you still got 3-man in defense. You can catch man-to-man to the 2 strikers and centre back and the centre forward. So there's plenty of spaces available in both these teams. I hope to God they can use some switching and start the game and try and get a goal quickly.
Yes, certainly Spain started the first half well, but it was Argentina who finished it a little bit better. Let's see which side the pendulum swings in the early moments of the second half. Spain and Argentina both playing pretty much in their national flag colours. Spain going from left to right this time around and looking to attack, getting an attack going, but in the process impeded, which results in an early free hit. Spanish bench, resplendent in yellow and red. Oh! Looking for a tomahawk, but miscued quite a bit.
Well, you know, if you look at it, it was a good strength on the ball to carry the ball into the circle with three Argentine defenders closing him down. But the final shot of goal was poor in poor selection.
In fact, the only person under threat was our cameraman who provided that replay. It's got to be a difficult job, I'm sure, keeping an eye on the ball in a game of this pace, Cedric.
Well, I think we've got to give him a helmet at times because the ball comes flying at such speeds at different angles, you know. A lovely receiver, a lovely trap.
Yes, this boy is one of those to watch out for in the future. Gonzalez, very, very talented young man, 17 years of age. Will be good for him to get a goal at some stage in this Hero Junior World Cup. Certainly has worked hard enough to earn the right to have at least one against his name. Will today be the day? Juan Santiago Cavasa didn't play any of the first two matches as a starter, but has started today and has done a pretty tidy job in defense. Peila comes forward. It's interesting, Cedric, you were mentioning that Argentina look quite dangerous every time Peila moves forward a bit.
Well, if you look at my notes, it's exactly what I was talking about at halftime. By pushing the sweeper up, it's important for him to, as a sweeper, to come up to the midfield, because he's got a lethal hit and he's got a very powerful sweep which could open up the defense. And if the strikers move to the baseline, then he's got so much of space to pass the ball to his midfielders or to the strikers because of the power that he has with him.
It looks like they have been listening to you, because Peila has spent a lot more time ahead of his own D, but this time it's a chance for Spain. It's nicely done, with the final receiving very well done. Gonzalo Peila and Nicolas Cecilio doing well in defense on that occasion for Argentina, and allowing this move to be built up, but it's been broken down by the Spaniards, yet again losing their footing. That's happened on a few occasions today. That's a sign of the weariness coming in from playing successive days. This is a good pass. It's been nicely received too. Here's Gonzalez. It's a touch, but it's just wide.
A great combined movement by the Spaniards, all the way from the 50-yard line up, and came down to the baseline and played the minus pass. But number 22 from Spain, Beltran Albert, put the ball out because his body was not angled towards and his shoulder wasn't angled towards the goal, it was angled outwards.
He's had a few looks at the goal, but just not been able to convert any of those chances or even enforce a major save. Thomas Riarte has been good in goal, as we saw in the first half. A couple of chances which fell Spain's way, but he was rock solid under the goal. Here come Argentina once again. Not too many constructive moves thus far in the second half. It's been, again, a bright start from the Spaniards. And this man always looks good on the ball, Llorens. Given away. This could be dangerous for Argentina. Moving forward, Sacheti with the shot. And it's a very easy save in the end for Fernandez Garren. Crucially kept on his feet and kept a steady base.
Well, you know, Sacheti should not have taken a try at the goal. He had two of his teammates lurking on the far post. If you look at it now, Sacheti has the ball. He doesn't look up, he just plays the ball. There are two strikers waiting on the far post for him to deflect the ball inside. The keeper had to catch his angle, and if he played the ball to wide, it would definitely be a goal. But then, you know, it's youth, and when you come into the circle, you try to score a goal at any cost.
Yes, of course, these are under 21 players. So you've got to give them that little bit of leeway in terms of the mistakes that they make. Certainly an even game in terms of everything. The scoreline, the possession. Circle penetrations also more or less equal. No clear-cut opportunities for either side, really, considering there have been 19 circle penetrations, just 5 shots on target. So the scoring sticks have been missing today. Let's see if Argentina can find theirs now. A couple of men in dangerous positions, and they do win a penalty corner. This is where they're dangerous. Are Spain contesting this?
It's a clean penalty corner. But for me, the best thing that happened today was the fact that the ball was switched from the left-hand side right across the right-hand side, and from there the ball's got into the circle for a penalty corner. It's exactly what I was saying at halftime. Switch the game as much as possible. Use the width, and you'll get penalty corners. You get a quiet goal, or you can create spaces. But just don't, just hold on to the ball. Use the switch as much as possible.
The skipper will be in business once again. Gonzalo Peila is right at the top of the box. It will be Fernandez Onega who will be sending this ball in. And Trezza will be the man making the stop. It's Peila, and it's a good save. It was going for the top left corner, but Fernandez read that well. Still with Argentinian possession. A better spell from the Albiceleste the last few minutes. Danger averted, and Fernandez, fairly easy stop, but well done.
Well, you know, the flick wasn't as powerful as it should have been, you know. He tried to lift the ball up, but you got, but the goalkeeper Fernandez did a great job of just standing his ground and deflecting the ball over the bar.
Yes, not worked out for them today, but they must be careful not to give him too many opportunities, because with his usual strike rate, the next one could be near fatal. Here comes Spain though. Always look good threat when moving forward. Federico Monja down the left, getting some support from Coelho. Anton Parente, in fact. Once again, Spain on the move. Malgosa. More than what he does in defense. He's always keen on joining in the attack, moving into those flanks. Now this is a long ball which has been well received. It just couldn't retain control of it long enough for Beltran. Cedric, he has the makings of a good promising player, but just lacks that final percentage, perhaps, the number 22 Beltran.
Well, you know, if you look at the Spanish type of hockey that they play, they have a lot of individual flair, and they're drilled into the defensive duties, you know. And if you look at the team, they are a team which can play attack and defense by each and every single player. And number 22 Albert Beltran really shows some of those qualities.
Well, this time he's involved in that attack, just taking a tumble, and that allows Argentina to move away with the ball. Nicely done by Sacchetti, finding his teammate. This is looking promising for the Argentinians, all the way in towards the face of goal. Still with Sacchetti, and he finds the opening goal as well. Well, you have to say it was coming for them. The last few minutes had been positive for them, and eventually getting his first goal of this Hero Junior World Cup is that quality player of theirs, Sacchetti.
What was good was the diagonal pass, short 1-2 pass that was played in the 25-yard line, and the ball was flicked towards the goal. But the important thing was that the rebound came back to Sacchetti, and from that he didn't waste time. He just pushed the ball towards the far corner of the goal, and a great goal for Argentina.
Some joy at last for the Argentinian supporters. And if one man has deserved a goal, it really is Manuel Sacchetti. 19 years of age, has looked a live wire in each and every game.
Well, Divine, you know, you just saw what I was talking about. The fact that the midfielders joined up, latched up with the strikers and created the space.
And suddenly they're moving forward in good numbers. So this is looking quite promising from Argentina's perspective.
Well, you know, this is both the teams should be doing the same kind of tactics, because both play the same similar type of games.
There he is, Manuel Nicolas Sacchetti. Has been at the heart of most good positive things they've done when moving forward, and eventually has been rewarded. As you mentioned very rightly, what was noticeable was how quickly he got his shot going as soon as he got that ball free. So lesson for any young player: when you got the chance, just go for it. Spain, one saw yesterday when they went down by a goal to Australia, it just seemed to deflate them. They showed a lot of resolve before that. What will be interesting to see is if they can actually bounce back in this situation.
Well, you know, it's not over till the fat lady sings. It's important for them to carry on working at it, and try and get an equalizer, because it's all about pride. It's all about the 9th to the 12th position.
Promising run once again down the right flank, but eventually running out of yardage. So Spain just a little under the cosh, will need a little bit of inspiration at the stage. Maybe this man can provide it, Sanchez. Does begin a lot of promising things from the heart of defense. This particular camera angle that we are showing you just gives you an idea of the width of the field, the width on offer for both midfields as well as attacking players. Oh, again, some good skills from Gonzalez. Very useful player. Quick 1-2. And looking to work his way into the box. Get some support. Reverse hit pass attempted, but nicely defended by the Argentinians, and then a foot on the ball. Gives a free hit to the Spaniards. Can they make the most of it? It will get interesting if they do equalize here. Both teams know the importance of 3 points in this particular game. Spain more so, I suppose. This time moving forward. And now Argentina come away with the ball, but long, hopeful ball. Only one man up front. What could he be saying here now? What will Spain need to do, Cedric?
Well, they got to push up more of the midfielders into the higher up into the last quarter, and the strikers, instead of standing on the corner, have to push up to the baseline. That will create a lot of confusion in the Argentine defense.
So Cedric, in one of your stints, you did work with a lot of the boys who played the 2001 Junior World Cup. They won it, of course, but then moving up to the senior side, did you sometimes find them just lacking a little bit in terms of self-belief? Some self-doubt can be a factor sometimes with the youngsters.
And what we did was we played a lot of these youngsters in the national team before they came into as regulars in the national team, so they were well aware of the rigors of international hockey. They knew exactly what was required of them, and we even put them into the World Cup qualifier, which was a killer, in fact, as concerned. 7 or 8 boys from the juniors playing that. So I didn't see a big gap, because we were a young team at that stage anyway.
Well, this young man is quite a handful. Once again picked up very well by Gonzalez. He's got some great skill. He's got some great pace, but he doesn't quite have the finish. This time he's going for the referral, isn't he? This will be quite critical, because that was a stupendous solo run from him, and he feels he was impeded in a false fashion.
Well, he thinks that he was he got a foot of Cecilio Nicolas. Okay, when he went getting to the circle, the guy who has played an outstanding game for Argentina so far, and. Let's see what the referral says.
Can you check for me, please?
Okay, to confirm, I'm looking for a foot inside the circle by the defender.
Yes, thank you.
Excellent run from Gonzalez, and there is the foot. It is outside though. Just looking at the first evidence. This will also give us an idea.
I think it was just outside the foot. Although the ball hit the rear foot, his foot is outside the circle anyway.
Yes, Bruce Bale just confirming that it will only be a free hit. And that also means that Spain will end up losing that referral of theirs, so that green dot right by their score, by their name on the scorecard, will just turn red. Still some time to go though. Close to 20 minutes left in this match. Good place to have possession. Argentina defending as one at the moment. And that's always a difficult thing to break down, as we've seen already in the first few matches. Under pressure, gets the ball away. Looking for some support from Ibarra, who wins a free hit for his team. Just from a coach's perspective though, Cedric, here you would want Argentina to not sit back on that one-goal lead, because one goal, as we've seen in this tournament already, is just not enough.
Well, I think another thing is that, you know, if Argies, instead of playing man-to-man marking, they're doing a lot of frontal marking, which is great. You know, if you look at the defense, it's all frontal marking, and yeah, which is good. And so are the Spaniards doing it well enough, which is very nice to see at this level of hockey, that there's some technical aspects of the game which are really fantastic to watch. There's some double teaming going on. There's frontal marking going on.
And the cries from the support staff are just getting a little bit louder. This is an outstanding opportunity for Spain, but brilliant defending, just getting in the way of it. Diving stop. That man against Cecilio has been terrific today. Now it looks like Argentina are going to make a referral.
What's Tom looking like for the referral? Argentina asked for you. Wait. What?
They're asking for a bit umpire on that side of the field. There, and we're
have you got what's time on the referral? Are we too long here? Nothing? Bruce, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you step away from the player?
How are we looking for time on the referral?
It's overrun. There is no time for referral by the Argentinians. Time is too far gone.
Oh, okay. They have taken too long for this in any case. That's what Bruce Bale confirms. This is what happened. Nothing in it really, and that's why Spain come away with the ball. They still have possession, moving forward, looking to muscle forward, but the decision goes against him. Another player who has looked promising, Anton Parente, was the man right at the end of that move, but just couldn't finish it off, couldn't quite handle it and trap it as cleanly as he would have hoped. This is Sanchez. Point you made, Cedric, the sweeper moving forward, that hasn't happened enough from the Spanish side. Maybe this is the time for them to throw everything at their opponents.
Well, if you look at it, he's playing a little more up front. Not as much as I expected him to play, but he's still doing it. So it's a step in the right direction so far.
Close contest, just as we expected, and one goal here, especially from the Spaniards, will throw this contest open. That's what the neutrals will certainly be hoping for. This is another individual run, and does win a free hit. In fact, a penalty corner given for contact inside the box.
And a good turn of speed in coming into the circle, and strong on the ball, being attacked by two defenders, and he finds a foot just on top of the line of the circle, and a penalty corner for Spain.
Literally one of the first times when Cecilio has put a foot wrong, just getting stuck on the foot. But But yes, this is the opportunity now for Spain. They did convert a couple of penalty corners in their opening encounter against France. And this will be their first such chance in this match. Does look like Malgosa is one of the men at the top of the box. So is the captain, Alejandro de Frutos. Oh, it's a very good bit of deception. It looked for a while like Malgosa would be the one to go for it, but it was the captain who went finally with the drive, but it was quite nicely defended.
Well, look, if you ask me, the flick wasn't as powerful as it should have been, and you know, if you look at it, it was a good deception, but it was also right in center of the goal for the goalkeeper to make an easy save.
Yes, and on the basis of his performance today, Thomas Riarte won't be bothered with something as feeble as that. You'll need to be a lot more precise and a lot more powerful with your track flicks or any shot, indeed, to bother the goalkeeper for Argentina today. Once again, if we had Javier now just showing signs of being a little bit pensive and a little bit anxious at the moment. They're creating half chances, but just not showing enough thrust in their movements forward. Lots of marginal calls which have been coming in the last few minutes. Certainly the teams believe so. Looking from where we are at, it's been a very, very fine performance from both Messrs. Gareth Greenfield as well as Ahmed El Sayed, the two officials on field. Possession retained by Spain, but will be forced to take this one back. 13 minutes left in this match, but do make sure you join us for the remaining games of today as well. Australia and France, that pushes back at 4 p.m. And that will be followed by two games, 6 p.m. A crucial encounter between Malaysia and England. Pretty much a must-win for England. And then finally, an absolute humdinger. It promises to be South Africa against New Zealand. This was promising from Argentina moving forward, and at least they have retained possession thanks to a last gasp effort from Fernandez Garin. Here comes Gonzalez. Oh, that's very neatly snuck through, and a crucial interception.
Well, a great attempt of a through pass coming inside. Ishore is playing the ball to the left-hand side and then just reverse flicked it towards the right-hand side, but a great save by the Spanish defense.
Malgosa in that position, just effecting the interception because there was an Argentinian just behind him. We have seen that individual flair from both teams on display, but there just hasn't been enough of cohesion when moving forward. That's why the scoreline just 1-0 in favor of Argentina. If you've just joined us, the only goal coming thus far today from Manuel Sacchetti. Can Argentina find a second here? Coelho was looking to scoop it through and get through, but just couldn't keep that ball in play.
Well, you know these little dinks over the flat stick are so important to get, especially when you're on the baseline, and you know that the defense is standing low, and you know if you look at it here, he plays the ball down. That was the attempt in the previous movement when it was a fantastic attempt by the RGs for a through ball, but a great save by the Spanish defense.
Yes, the likes of Malgosa and Ursul and Serahima have had a good game, which is why the numbers are so even in this match. Argentina crucially with that one shot on target, which unfortunately Spain couldn't do much about.
But Spain knows that Argentina is a team which plays man-to-man marking, and they're doing rigid man-to-man marking, especially when they're a goal.
Oh, this was an opportunity, that's for sure. Fernandez came away and swatted that ball away like a fly. But the game just opening up with Spain possibly being a bit more adventurous in the last few minutes, looking for that equalizer and opening up scoring opportunities.
Well, a good wrong foot pass by the Argentine number 9, and plays the ball across to number 15, who Mr. Sanchetti, and a great cross by Sanchetti into the circle, and diving a good hit towards the goal, but the goalkeeper snuck out of the angle and part of the ball out to safety.
Fernandez Pizarro was already in this match shown on a couple of occasions that he's got that ability to wind up in the right place at the right time. Always a useful quality to have, especially when you're an attacking player. Here come Argentina once again. Can they put this issue beyond doubt? If they score a second one, you get the impression that that could be game, set and match for them.
Well, you've got Gonzalo Perez coming up into the midfield now, which is a good thing, because the ball can be switched to him.
Oh, this is a delightful run down the right, but just hitting his foot in the end, Coelho. That relieves Spain of the pressure. Can they come up with a counter-offensive of their own? The last few minutes, though, have been very positive from Argentina, haven't they, Cedric?
Yes, you know, they're going for the second goal. They're trying to break through this, especially on the right-hand side. They're using the width well enough. I'd like to see them switch the game to the left also. They played only on one side basically right through the entire second half.
As you can see just at the bottom of the picture, just the shadows beginning to lengthen across. It's early winter at the moment in Delhi. The second match, which will begin at 4. At about half-time, you would expect the lights to begin taking effect. That kind of weather at the moment in Delhi. Lovely weather. And the 16 teams really having a ball. Quick reminder, the next game is Australia v France for bragging rights on the top of the table of this pool. There will be a card here. It's a yellow. Just a little bit silly there from number 16, Lautaro Diaz.
Well, you know, he'd won the foul, and he'd already, because it was an instruction by the Spaniard, but by raising his stick, he's got a yellow card.
And Spain take advantage of this now.
We have the time. We're getting it.
Argentina happy to move this into the corner. Here they come once again.
Well, if you look at this demand, you'll find the entire defense we got catching the Spanish players man to man. And now you see that the Spanish forwards are pushing to the baseline and creating space, as much space as possible. I would like to see even the midfielders pushing up more.
Oh, this is close, but yet again well done by Riarte. In the meantime, there's just been another suspension for the Argentinians, so they're not making things easy for themselves. And that's why having to defend in good numbers at the moment. Temporarily down to 9 men on the field. the players coming off with a little bit of a gash at the side of his head. Two Argentinians currently on the sin bin. Federico Ruiz joining his teammate Diaz. That's why Argentina forced onto the back foot. Can they defend this one goal advantage that has been given to them in a pretty special manner by Sacchetti, one of the brighter young stars from this entire Junior World Cup campaign. Now moving forward, comes off the foot. This is a chance for Spain. Can they capitalize on it? Time is running out for them. Will they make it this time, Cedric?
Well, you know, they're playing 9 versus 11, so they must capitalize on these opportunities that are coming their way now. They got a penalty corner when Gonzalo Pele put his foot in, and a clean penalty corner for Spain. If you look at it here, a nice baseline ball trying to find a minus, and he finds Gonzalo's foot.
Yes, just glancing the shoe, but that's good enough. That's all that it takes for the opportunity to come to them. No conversions today at all from 4 penalty corners combined. Argentina especially will be disappointed with that statistic, considering they have somebody of Gonzalo Pela's quality. But the Argentinian skipper will be involved in looking to defend this particular attempt coming in from Spain. At the top of the D, Lawrence was in good position, but none of them getting across to it in the end. Still got possession though. Still open up to be a chance, but just a bit difficult there for Bolto rather. And is back towards the Argentinian goal, and that gave valuable time for the Argentinians to recover, and now the Spanish player down. Briones. Doesn't look good and will need to be subbed. Daniel San Martin comes in, so it's still 11v9, but they've not been able to take full advantage of this situation, Cedric. But sometimes it can be a good thing, can't it, if you are a man down. In this case, there are 2, but Argentina have only one option, that is to defend.
Well, they're defending with their hearts out, and you know, I still feel Spain's just staying on top of the 25 yard on top of the circle. They're not pushing up now. Now you see that they're pushing up into the circle, deep in the circle, and creating the space on top.
This time they do get a long corner. Maybe they should take a leaf out of New Zealand's book last night. They took their goalkeeper off, Richard Joyce, got the equalizer and promptly sent him back in. You haven't seen that from Spain yet, with time running out. Just about 4 minutes on the clock. They move forward well, but lots of Argentinian shirts in there, defending the ball, getting behind the ball and showing some composure too. Long ball, can they catch them on this counter-offensive? Just not got the legs to go after it though.
See, all of them are defending and, you know, all getting back in defense, and then if they an aerial ball and the striker has to run and receive that ball, he's actually on his own. And he's a bit tired actually after doing his defensive duties.
In the 2009 Junior World Cup, it was Argentina who were placed 6th and Spain were placed 8th. So it does look like history might repeat itself in that sense. Argentina will probably finish higher than Spain. But for that to happen, they will have to hang on to this lead and possibly even look to try and improve on it. Good to see Diaz is back on the field for them, so partially restored that advantage. Long ball, gets a touch but just cannot bring it under control, Iglesias.
The idea was good, the defense was all up and the idea was good, but a missed trap by the Spanish striker.
Just to reiterate, a victory here will keep Argentina in the race for spots 9 through to 12. For Spain, if they do lose here, then the best that they can hope to finish will be 13th. Those classification matches and the quarterfinals onwards will resume after a day's break in this competition. That off day will be on the 11th. 2 days from now. The fans can feel it though. Oh, that looks like that's hurt him. That's hit him quite hard. Santana feeling the stinging pain of this, but this is Argentina on the move. Can they kill this match off completely? They're looking to push it towards the corner. And quickly it's back to defense for the Albiceleste. Desperate from Spain, but still no substitution of the goalkeeper. So that's a route that they just haven't exploited today, Cedric.
Well, I think it's a ploy they should have adopted, especially when there was one goal down. Cross ball from Spain going a begging again.
This is the man whose goal might turn out to be the difference maker, Manuel Sacchetti, with this fine strike.
Well, if you look at it, you know, the good thing was the entire passing among the defense, among this, the attack, and the ball comes loose to Sacchetti, who doesn't even look up. He just pushes the ball. He knows exactly where he is in the circle, and just pushes it into the far corner of the goal.
Perfect goal poacher's strike, and that's what he's been promising right through this Hero Junior World Cup, and finally he's delivered. And he might well deliver the first 3 points for Argentina in this campaign. Less than 20 seconds. It's getting close for them. Anywhere will do now for the defense. Just lobbing this one up. Spain are frantically looking for that ball, but this will be the final hooter to suggest that Argentina will finish third, irrespective of what happens in the following match in Pool B. And on the day, one would have to say they have just shown a little bit more sharpness, and that has allowed them to pull away from Spain in this particular fixture. Spain started brightly and had their chances, especially in the first half, and also a couple in the second half when they especially forced a couple of penalty corner situations to come their way, but just didn't have that attacking finesse which was needed on the night. And the only goal of the evening coming in from Manuel Sacchetti, who finally delivers on the promise that he's shown all tournament long. So Argentina, after enduring a couple of disappointments, losing to Australia 2-5, those 3 minutes of madness when they conceded 3 goals inside 3 minutes, and followed by that the 2-3 defeat to France. The final scoreline here: Argentina 1, Spain 0. And that will mean that they will be still in contention for a spot outside the top 8. It's really about the top 8 in this entire tournament, but they'll be pleased with this performance. So they will definitely finish lower than what they did in 2009 when they were 6th, but they've given their fans something to whoop and dance about. In fact, the support for all the teams has been outstanding. It's been a feature of this Hero Junior World Cup. Lots of families which have traveled with the players as well, eager to see their friends and family in action in what has been a red-hot competition, this Hero Junior World Cup. Well, it was a game which didn't have too many clear-cut chances, and in the second half it was Spain who started brightly yet again. This was again a good move which needed a finishing touch. That was what we were talking about. The finishing touch was definitely lacking. And this was the moment when Argentina had their first look at goal. Sacchetti was again the man at the center of it. Easy save in the end for Fernandez, who had a good game, it must be mentioned, under the bar. Then there's a penalty corner attempt, and well saved yet again by Fernandez, denying Gonzalo Peila, who today couldn't really enhance his reputation as one of the best drag flick specialists in this event. Then this moment occurred, came free to Sacheti and very quickly getting rid of the ball and smacking it into a low left corner of Fernandez Garin, giving him no chance. And this was pretty much the only moment of incision from either team, and that's all that counted in the end, giving their fans something to cheer about. And those are the numbers which this game had, 16 circle penetrations to 13, so Spain with slightly better numbers in that sense, but 50% possession, a very equal contest in every respect. More shots for Argentina, that tells you something, and the most important number right up there, the 1 goal against 0 for Spain. So Argentina beating Spain 1-0 in this match. Let's go down to Charlie Broom for the post-match presentation.
Yeah, welcome to the hero player of the match presentation. I'm delighted to say I've been joined by Leandro Negre, president of the International Hockey Federation. He's going to do the honours to our hero player of the match, who is Nicolas Cecilio from Argentina. Congratulations, Nicolas. And Leandro, if you could do the honours. Well, Nicolas looks at his trophy. I'm going to have a quick word with Carlos Anello, the Argentinian coach. And Carlos, congratulations, a win finally under your belt.
Yes, thank you very much. It was a very tough match, of course. Spain is a very good team, and it could be for the result for each other. But of course, we are very, very happy.
Your last game was also very tight, wasn't it?
It was very difficult. The last 2 matches. I think that we play good, but the level of the other team was better, of course.
But you have a good win to take forward into the next knockout matches.
Yes, we hope, of course, now to get the better position possible, of course.
Carlos, thank you very much. Nicolas, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you for that, Charlie, as well. This is how Pool B now stands. So Argentina and Spain have commenced, or concluded rather, their proceedings in this particular pool. Argentina finishing with 3 points thanks to this victory, and Spain returning empty-handed from their efforts. But Australia and France are still top of the table. They have got through to the next round, and Australia and France will be in action in the second match of the day, which is going to follow shortly. That pushes back at 4 p.m. local time, so just about 21 minutes, 22 minutes from now. And then those 2 lip-smacking encounters. England against Malaysia at 6 p.m, followed by South Africa versus New Zealand. So all those teams in with a chance. Malaysia, of course, have already qualified, but any one of England, South Africa or New Zealand can make it through to the quarterfinals. So lots at stake in those matches, because this is how Pool D stands. Just for example, when Malaysia play England, if England win, they move up to 4 points, and that leaves the door open for both South Africa as well as New Zealand to win and have a chance, theoretically, of getting through past England. So lots and lots to look forward to on this day 4 of the Hero Hockey Junior World Cup Men. But for the moment, we'll say goodbye, and we'll be back in just about 20 minutes for the next game between Australia and France.